TVC News Politics on Sunday. We're reaching you live from the Federal Capital Territory. I am Femi Akonde. Welcome. Well, in Nigerian politics, loyalty is often loud, but commitment is frequently silent. Today, party flags are raised in the morning and lowered by nightfall. Politicians cross party lines with ease. Some call it strategy, others call it survival. But in a democracy, where does conviction end and convenience begin? Are defections a sign of political maturity or evidence that ideology has collapsed under the weight of power? As alignments shift and alliances realign, one question confronts us all. Who truly owns the mandate? The party, the politician, or the people? This is Politics on Sunday. Let's talk politics with my guest on the show tonight, CMR JIJIWA. He's an APC youth advocate, joining me live in the studio. Welcome to the program, CMR.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, you see, for the APC has gained and lost key figures through defections. We saw when the ADC, the coalition of the ADC was formed. We saw people from the APC also move. We've also seen people cross into, the All Progressives Congress. And to many Nigerians, it appears politics has become, a revolving door. But especially those coming to the APC now, critics say it's about convenience. It's not that there's something attractive in the APC that's, pulling them in. How do you respond to that?
Thank you for having me. Of course, there's something that is, getting them to come over here. So that means there is a value here. That means that the APC has what they need to succeed. For you to say that there's nothing special that is dragging people here, no, there is. There is something that is bringing people here.
No, that's what critics say, not me.
Well, critics can say what they want to say, but we have to understand the popularity of the renewed hope agenda. The reason why they are coming over, you're right, might not be because of ideology. They might just be coming over because now they finally see what we saw before, that Asiwaju and the renewed hope agenda is the best way to go if we want to have a country.
Is it just about President Bola Tinubu and the renewed hope agenda, or it is about getting a political platform that is viable ahead of the 2027 elections?
Well, I like that point that you just said, a viable platform.
And
APC is a viable platform.
Viable in the sense that if you look at other political parties,
correct,
the Labour Party is in crisis, the PDP, we really do not know who is in charge or who even has access to Wadata Plaza. The ADC, well, they're trying to put their acts together, but they've not really, formed. And it seems the APC is the only party that there's a sense of peace for now, and that might be what is attracting people to the party beyond President Bola Tinubu and the renewed agenda. That's why I say it's a viable platform.
The reason for the stability in the party is simply because we know who the leader of the party is, naturally. No matter what your ambition is, as of now, you have no choice but to accept that there's a leader in that party. Just that alone has brought some stability into the scene. And yes, other political parties are in turmoil and they are confused. And they don't even know whether they can field candidates or not. In the APC, those issues are no longer there. We have a direction here. Nigerians have seen what is happening here. The popularity is too strong that is not even allowing other political parties to focus and put themselves together. Because these political parties have made a mistake. They came together simply to remove Asiwaju, and that is it. It is not about what they are going to do for Nigeria. It's about how can we remove Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that's the truth. And that is the reason why maybe they are having these issues that they're having. But the APC, the mandate has been the same, to provide good governance for this country. We have not moved the goalpost at any point. But due to the popularity of this particular candidate. And they know they can't face this candidate.
Well, so talking about the viability now of the APC, why people are coming in, I said earlier, is because they want tickets. At the end of the day, they jostle for these tickets. If they get their ticket, they do not necessarily believe in the renewed hope agenda, in the ideologies of the APC. What they are after is their selfish interest to get the tickets, run for election on the platform of the APC. Doesn't it mean that it might be also difficult for them to galvanize votes for the president, whose agenda, the renewed hope agenda, they do not properly understand and do not believe in?
If they didn't understand it then, I'm sure they understand it now. Or they seem to understand it now. And yes, you're talking about can they bring those voters. We have to also accept the fact that these governors, no matter how unpopular they are, they won their elections. They won their elections. We need to remember that they actually won elections. Without winning an election, you cannot be a governor. You cannot be a senator. So that means you have popularity in your place. So that alone adds value to them coming over. And yes, perhaps they're doing it for the ticket. No doubt about it. Because Nigeria, for you to hold office, you need to go through elections. And it's because this platform is viable, it's popular, and it's easy to plug into without having any of these unnecessary turmoils. They want to go and serve their people without distractions. They don't want to be spending the money that is supposed to be for their people on unnecessary things whereby they are fighting for the power of a political party, or they are fighting for relevance in a political party, or they are doing such things. No, they want to focus and give their people the job that their people hired them for. And APC is so clean and ready to go, and that is the only reason they are lining up and coming.
When you talk about the renewed hope agenda and the ideology of the APC, it's been more than 2 years now that Nigerians voted for the renewed hope agenda, but it's not the magic wand a lot of people expected. President Bola Tinubu himself said he's not a magician. He's going to build brick by brick. But how far so far? Because there's still economic issues. We still grapple with insecurity. There's still poverty. We still have problems in our education sector, the health sector. So what's going on?
We have a lot of issues in Nigeria, no doubt about it. And there is no particular human being that can stand today and say he's going to stop all these things, or he's going to work on it, and it will repair in one day. It's not possible. Because government is a system. Everything is a system. And everything is done in a systematic way. It's not just jump in and make a change. No. Sometimes a leader might even have a good plan, but due to the system that is around him, it might take him a bit longer to be able to achieve those things.
Is there a plan? And how well do Nigerians understand that plan? Because if you go on the streets, people are still complaining.
Those people are complaining. Opposition is also complaining. Even APC people are complaining. But all of us were complaining before he even came. That's Nigeria for you. Now, what I want you to understand is that the complaints that they're doing, they are all legitimate claims that they're making, right? They are legitimate. The issues that they are raising are actually legitimate issues. But what I want us to do is that we need to stop politicizing some issues. Let's focus and see how we can be able to move forward. And that is what Asiwaju came to do. Asiwaju has not said anything about the former government. He said, I accept the assets. I have also accepted the liabilities of the former regime. He said it. Why? Because we don't want to waste our time on that. Too many issues in front. Let's solve these issues. How do we solve those issues? With good leadership.
When you talk about not politicizing it, when citizens ask for good governance, they ask for accountability, they ask for jobs, they ask for good roads, is that politicizing it? Because that's usually the excuse that we've seen some members of the APC, use to dismiss these criticisms.
You have to understand that Nigeria is a politically charged atmosphere. And that's the truth. Everything in Nigeria, or should I say most things in Nigeria, are politically related. When you see anything in Nigeria, I want you to know it might be politically motivated. Always. Now,
So
some are genuine
even
claims.
when people complain of hunger?
They are genuine. They are genuine and they need to be solved. But politics with that is wrong. Now, let me ask you this. The people that can come to TV and cry and say, look, we are hungry, we are this, we are this, we are that, we are that. Sir, we all know these things, right? A typical Nigerian that is on the street that is trying to get something to eat might not even have the knowledge or even the understanding to be able to push a certain agenda on an image on media. He might not even know how to do it. So what does that mean? That means that it's people that can do it that are then doing it, that are packaging it and publicizing it. Now the issues are real, for sure. And the president has to do better. But not because he wasn't doing good, but because you know what they say. The result and the award of hard work is more work.
Well, in fairness to the administration also, we're seeing food prices begin to drop, even especially in the Yuletide. We've also seen inflation drop, and some people are critics again still say that the government is big on data and not actual workings. We've seen these things drop, food prices drop, inflation drop, and some things are beginning to ease gradually, but these complaints have not stopped.
And they will not. They will never stop. Those complaints were here before, and it will still be here tomorrow.
But why is it difficult for people to even, acknowledge when they begin to see the yields or the fruits of these reforms instituted by the administration? They hardly get applauds for that. Yes. Apart from members of the APC, and I'm not talking about the opposition now, from Nigerians who are not politically inclined, who just want good governance.
Well, the truth of the matter here is that this government, they're not doing things because of that. They're not doing things because they want to be, clapped for. They are serious. This is a serious government. And maybe, I believe, that might even be dragging them back because they are not really, coming out and saying every single thing that they're doing. And that's the truth of the matter here. It's all about result.
Indeed.
It's all about result. Let the result speak for itself.
All right, then. So we'll take a quick commercial break. And Umar JIJIWA, we're talking about political defections and realignments. Now, Umar, when voters see politicians who criticized the APC yesterday, praising it today, joining the APC, raising the APC's flag, doesn't that raise serious credibility question now, not just for the defectors, but also for the party receiving them?
A political party has no right to decline anybody that wants to be a member. We have to understand the aspect of it. Number two, every single person has the right to join any political party that he wants. You can't take that away from them. If they choose to come to the APC, it is their right to do so.
But in advanced democracies, defections are rare because most of these parties are clearly defined by principles. We hardly see Republicans cross to the Democratic aisle. We hardly see conservatives move to the other side. In Nigeria, it's like a free-for-all. You can sleep this night as a member of a Labour Party, wake up the next morning as a member of the PDP, and before going to bed, you are in the APC. That defines Nigeria's political system.
Outside politics, right, this is an issue that scares most young people in Nigeria now, and that's the truth. I'm a young man, I'm a youth leader, and I'm with youths. We understand this. And the thing that really worries youths now is that they are confused. The reason why they are confused is because the person that told them A yesterday has now come back again to tell them B today. Tomorrow he will tell them C. Now they are even in a state of quagmire. They don't even understand what's happening again.
That means you acknowledge that indeed is a problem.
It's a major issue and it's a scary issue. But that's what we find ourselves doing now in Nigeria. Nigerian political parties, we wish we had that kind of ideological parties so that a young man like me, a youth, can start to build an ideology, what he feels about Nigeria, how Nigeria should be. And then when he feels that way, he will then look at, okay, where fits this? Where fits the mold? And he will start to grow politically on the other side of it. But due to the fact that we don't do this, our parties were not created ideologically. Perhaps we might have that one day. But let's tell ourselves the truth. Political parties in Nigeria are simply platforms. Designed to win election and to get mandate to serve these people of this country. And that's the truth. Now, that said, you cannot blame anybody that is cared for himself. You can't blame anyone that runs anywhere. Because even your own house that you build today, your money, everything is there. If that house catches fire today like this, you will jump out the window. You will forfeit everything that you have built there. So for them to now start running out and coming back to APC, I believe it might be for political survival. That's the first point. And secondly, if I want to just be, give it a chance, perhaps they have finally been enlightened. Perhaps they have finally seen the way it's supposed to go. Perhaps they have converted and now they feel that the Renewed Hope agenda is the best for Nigeria. Perhaps they have keyed into it. It's two of that. It can be political structures. It can be because of the political ideology statements. We can do whatever, but the truth matter is that that's true. Political survival, or perhaps they have seen the light.
Well, it's also because of internal democracy within political parties. Just at the last NEC meeting, President Bola Tinubu had to appeal to members of his party, to make room, make space for other people coming into the party. And this also signals an impending or a looming crisis within the APC. People are coming into the APC, members of the APC are refusing to make space for them. There is now a lot of contestation within the All Progressives Congress, and if this is not properly managed, it might implode. The fear is that how will the party manage this ahead of the 2027 general election?
Okay, you're right. In a normal situation, that is a cause for fear, no doubt. Because these interests, how are they going to align eventually? They are coming in and some people are already here. What do we do? It can create chaos. We are now seeing people that were enemies and now they are in the same party and we all know they have the same interests. What happens? That's a problem, right? But the reason why it is not a problem here is simply because all that kind of contestation, the leader has to be big enough and strong enough and capable enough to be able to maintain. The same way a man can have 4 wives and you control his house. That is why it's okay now. Because Asiwaju is that kind of person.
But are we not putting too much burden on Asiwaju? He's not the president of the All Progressives Congress. He's the president of Nigeria, not minding which political party anyone belongs to. There's a lot for him to handle or deal with already. And for the APC, there's a national chairman and there's the National Working Committee who should also, who should demonstrate that capacity to also handle crises within the party, not always running to the president and, having him always respond and, tackle issues within the party.
The president has so much to do. The president's table is always full. We understand these things. And yes, the party has structure and it has leadership. But I want Nigerians to always remember that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a politician as well. Yes, he's here to serve Nigeria, but he came under a certain platform. And he wouldn't want to see what he built go down like that. This is a family affair. It shouldn't even be a serious issue because we have political parties that sacrificed their images as political parties and dropped it and came in together to create a merger. Not just one political party. A few political parties came in and they created the APC. So I believe if at that point APC was able to, maintain these certain platforms that have now come here, I believe just finding a way of maintaining the human beings that have come in is something that can be done. If political parties, as big as they are, with their structures and everything, APC was still able to bring everyone together and still find peace, then I don't think there's an issue. Because the party is still the same party. Now it's human beings we're even talking about, just people, not even their political parties, just them living under to come in here. They are not, I think it's something that can be handled by the party. But of course, the president being the father of the party, the leader of the party, he has to worry about his children. He has to worry about his family. He's not here to serve the APC only, but he wants to run again, and he's going to run on the APC. Is he going to run on air? No. He has to make sure that his house is in order as well. So it's not as if we're putting too much burden on him. Of course, we have leadership, and they do their job. You don't see the president putting his hands in things that he shouldn't put his hands in, no. But he's still the leader of the party.
The APC now controls 28 states, and some APC leaders will tell you that they're still counting, they're still expecting more states to join their fold. But there's a fear that the country is gradually sliding into a one-party system, which to a large extent they say is dangerous for our democracy in Nigeria. Shouldn't this also worry members of the APC who proclaim or profess that they are Democrats and will do whatever it takes to save democracy?
Yes. I said this to you before. You have no right to stop anybody from joining a political party. If Nigeria ends up as a one-party state, I pray
even at the expense of our democracy.
That's why I said, we don't want it. We don't want it. We don't want a one-party state. It's not healthy. It's not healthy at all. And I don't think it's even possible in Nigeria. Let's not deceive ourselves. Nigeria is a country of different political thoughts and different political camps. It's not possible for Nigeria to be a one-party state. It's just not possible. Now, it's not Asiwaju's fault that these people are having issues in their houses. And when they're now leaving, because they see that they can't solve the problem, of course, they will look at, okay, where is a better place for me to go? Now, if they were in PDP, they have to now think, where do I go? Will they run to ADC that perhaps are still trying to build and trying to understand themselves? Or will they run to APC? They're already in government, and there's a system, and there's a leadership, and there's so that they can just know that, okay, they've left this headache behind them. You understand? It's not about having a one-party state. Look, we need opposition to do their job. We need opposition to start doing their job. You need to oppose. You need to bring different alternatives. Opposition are not doing what they're doing. We have a lazy opposition. This is not the first time that there's opposition in Nigeria. We have a lazy opposition. In the last election, in the last government of Buhari, you could see it in the PDP. People like Wike, you know, Faishi, they stood, all that, they said, this is our party, we'll not let it go. You know, opposition.
But these are the same people now who have killed, or who are accused to have killed, or have been accused to have killed the opposition.
That is the truth. And that is true. I believe that maybe they have different political leanings now. But at that time, that was where they were, and they were governors. PDP still has governors. They still have governors. Let the governors keep their house in order. Let's have a responsible opposition. We need opposition to start to do their job. You don't expect APC to repair the problem that is in your own party. It's not possible.
But they blame APC for causing the problems in their party.
Okay, how? It's not right. It is not right. Now, let's see it like this. If you are a political party, your main responsibility, first of all, is to win election. It is the reason why you are here. And political parties are in the business of winning elections. That is the reason for a political party. Let's tell ourselves the truth here in Nigeria. That is just it. Now, these same people could have stayed back in PDP and say, you know what, let us all sacrifice our interests and repair this thing so that we can know what we can do. Stop blaming APC. For God's sake, how can you say that APC is destroying what? How is APC destroying some? I don't understand. Okay, so is a crime for APC now to be in order? Is it a crime for them to be stable? Is it a crime for them to be popular? Is it a crime for them to be so successful? It is natural for human beings to want to align with a success story. And that is the truth. They have failed as opposition in this country. Let's tell ourselves the truth.
Well, the 2027 election will be another litmus test to determine if indeed the All Progressives Congress is truly successful. Umar JIJIWA, APC youth advocate, thank you very much for your time on the program. And that's all on TVC News Politics on Sunday. You can watch this episode again on TVC News YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.